Hello, this is Rocky Marciano. When I was heavyweight champion of the world, they called me the Brockton Blockbuster. You find out why.
Hey, John. I know you talked to Willie the other day, so
That's right.
He's a character, my brother.
He is indeed. And I spoke to Johnny several years ago as well.
Yeah, I miss Johnny greatly.
I'm sure you do.
Really do.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Well before his time. Well before his time.
Yeah.
But both himself and Willie both said that the one you need to speak to is your good self.
Well, you got to remember when this happened, they were children. I mean, he was 13, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny.
Yeah.
When he was 11.
Exactly. They both said you were the oldest brother, and you remember more, and you were around for a little bit more. So now that I've got you at the end of the line, I'm going to see if I can pick your brains, if that's okay.
Sure, that's fine. Go ahead.
Is there any moments that you recall that you spent with Rocky that really stand out? Anything that you think of that was a real memory?
A lot. I mean, when he'd come to town, well, this is after he'd won all the championship. When he'd come to town, I mean, it was like everybody, you know. I mean, he was Rocky Marciano. I mean, I think seriously, almost everyone in the world felt that way about him. He was special. So when he'd come, all the kids, the neighborhood, the priest, the nun, everybody, it was Rocky. He'd always come for a reason. I mean, whether it was an event or something to do with a lot of the things had to do with St. Anthony's Church. I mean, he came, somehow it was associated. I'm talking about when I'm younger,
mm-hmm.
with St. Anthony's Church, and doing some kind of an event for them or to be around them, or So, but like I said, every time he came, there was something special going on. Also, Rocky was one of those guys. He had he was a funny guy. I mean, as far as he was almost kind of shy, really timid. I mean, as I got older, my 20s, you could see he was, very, I wouldn't say introverted, but kind of introverted, He played the role of the champion and all that
mm-hmm.
stuff. But I mean, when he was around like us, it was. He was kind of quiet, kind of shy, his voice was,
mm-hmm.
he was never loud. He was always kind of a quiet kind of a guy. One of the first things I remember about him, his eating habits were ridiculous. He used to. I remember going to. We had a place called Rocky Capiano's, Rocky's on Fleur Drive, and I'll never forget this. And he was eating. First time I ever really watched. And he was eating a steak, and he was just, chewing the steak and then spitting it back on the plate. And it was like, oh, that is so weird. It was a big steak, so there was a lot of leftover steak on the plate. And when you're a kid, that's like, what's going on? Then my dad explained to us, he has to stay in shape and in weight, so that's all just the way to keep his weight. But as a kid, it was like pretty weird. It was a weird deal. It really was.
Yeah.
And he always ordered steak. He always did. So it was like, oh boy, this is so strange. And then people who didn't really know anything about it, they'd come over just to meet the champion. Because the one thing about him is, everywhere he went, everybody knew who he was, and so everybody wanted an autograph or to shake his hand or to say hi to him or just to meet him. And so And so when you're like in a smaller town like Des Moines, Iowa, and you're at a place that everybody goes to, and here's this famous guy in this pile of meat on the table. It was a kind of a paradox, situation. So yeah, everybody in the world knew Rocky Marciano. I mean, for real. It's hard to explain to people now, but I mean, everybody knew who he was. Everyone. Unbelievable. Well, that's the sad thing about it is every movie that I've ever seen, nobody really portrayed him. They portray Rocky Graziano, and they don't portray this guy. This guy was like the best.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Well, and the sad part about it, I mean, he really was he was a good-looking guy. I mean, he was a good-looking guy.
Mm-hmm.
And so, even as he got heavier, as he was older, he still was, he had that look about him that was like, cool. And he really was. I mean, he was a cool guy because he grew up. I mean, he really didn't have any. You know that he didn't have anything. So all of a sudden to become that famous.
Yeah.
And then he used that. He knew how to use the fame, though. He did know how to use his fame, and he did it right. Because, like I said, he never. I mean, really, everybody. He didn't ever ask for anything. It wasn't like he was begging or anything like that. He just never had to pay for anything. You order a drink, it's paid for. You order a steak, it's paid for. And I want to thank you for. This man was a great man for promoting his life and telling people out there that there was only one guy like that for real.
Exactly.
There was only one fighter like him. That's for real. Thank you, John.
If you like this content, then hit the subscribe button. To really support this channel, consider joining for just over $1 a month and unlock ad-free members-only content. Every member becomes a research funder and will play a key part in revealing the real Rocky.
I just enjoyed combat. I just enjoyed the sport that I had learned so well, and I had practiced so much that when the bell rang, I did a job. I could concentrate on the opponent. It was a great, great career for me. I'm proud and very happy to talk about it. Sometimes I wonder why I was such an aggressive man in the ring.